Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.
Well, they're the bad guys. I'm not a bad guy. I brought Buffy back into this world, and maybe the word you should be looking for is congratulations.
Having Buffy back in this world makes me feel indescribably wonderful, but I wouldn't congratulate you if you jumped off a cliff and happened to survive.
That's not what I did, Giles.
You were lucky.
I wasn't lucky. I was amazing. And how would you know? You weren't even there.
If I had been, I'd have bloody well stopped you. The magics you channeled are more ferocious and primal than anything you can hope to understand, and you are lucky to be alive, you rank, arrogant amateur.
You're right. The magics I used are very powerful. I'm very powerful, and maybe it's not such a good idea for you to piss me off.
Everybody, welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Buffy. We're just two boys watching every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the first time, giving our review, our reactions. We're your hosts. I am Joe Welke.
I am Vance.
Today we're talking about Season 6, Episode 4, titled Flooded, directed by Douglas Petrie, written by Jane Espenson and Douglas Petrie. Original air date October 16th, 2001 to an audience of 6.03 million people. And before we get into the episode, everybody, we got Sloppy Joe to make an appearance. We got a shout out. We got an Apple Podcast review, everybody, from Linz. Linz, thank you so much for your review, your 5-star rating and review. Really appreciate it. Glad that you're binging it. Glad that you're enjoying the show. Super stoked to have you on board. Happy to have you here. If you want to get your own shout out, Apple Podcast 5-star rating and review, Spotify 5-star rating, screenshot that shit, send it to our email, boyswatchingbuffy@gmail, send it to our Instagram, boyswatchingbuffy, send it to my Instagram, Joe Welke, send it anywhere that can get us in contact. We'll shout you out. Join our Discord too. That link is in the show notes. We got a Patreon, patreon.com/boyswatchingbuffy, where we're doing Boys Watching Angel. We're doing Boys Watching Movies. We got a good old Halloweeny one this month, because it is October at the time of this recording. Yeah, I feel like, we got merch. Check out the merch. A lot of good stuff there. We're working on some new merch too.
Yeah.
We'll let you know when that drops. Yeah, Vance, you got anything to announce up top here?
No, Joe, so we have some new Patreon members, and if the Patreon members if they want to quickly get to the Angel episodes, or quickly get to the movie episode, or quickly get to Joe's fashion report / corner.
Thank you. A little respect on that.
How can they do it? What's an easy way if they're on Patreon, if they're new to it? How can they do it?
There is an easy way. If you go to Patreon and you go to our front page, there's a little tab that says collections, I believe. I have all of the stuff tagged pretty much effortlessly. So if you go to Patreon and you go to our page, click on collections, there should be a couple of different collections there. Number one, there should be tags of Angel. There's 47 there as of right now. There's JFR, which is Joe's Fashion Report / Corner. That is for all of Joe's Fashion Report / Corner. And then there's BWM, which is Boys Watching Movies. That's how you find all of the Boys Watching Movie episodes. So you can quickly toggle around and find exactly what you need to do. I try to make it as easy as possible for you guys on that back end shit. But yeah, hope that helps.
Yeah.
Everybody. Appreciate it.
Cool. That's I just figured that was information to give some people,
Yeah, I think that a couple of people have asked about that and privately, but yeah, good idea to bring it up on the public platform.
Yes.
All right. This episode, shit is getting a little bit serious, Vance.
And a little silly.
Yeah, quite silly. but there's underlying seriousness that I was like,
Yes.
oh, shit got a little real here.
Yes. So for me, this episode epitomizes Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like the balance of like silly tones and seriousness that can marry together in the same world and not feel out of place.
Mm-hmm.
Like if this happened, if they did this differently, you'd be like, this is too silly. She's talking about like an existential crisis and they're trying to steal money so they can get babes. Like it shouldn't work. It shouldn't work, and it does.
Yeah, it works pretty darn tootin' good. I'm happy to see the stuff that goes on in this episode. We got some returning champs in this episode that I wasn't expecting. But yeah, I feel like it was a pretty fun episode. I liked it.
Yeah.
It starts out like really randomly and just like some really random shit is going on. But it leads to like, all right, I feel like we're getting to the meat of the season already, you know?
Yeah, and we got a lot of callbacks, a lot of references to past episodes, not just in characters, but just like general stuff about the show.
Boy, do we.
And I do want to put a disclaimer up front. I got a lot of rhetorical questions that will sound like I do not like this show or this episode. I just want to put that out. I'm going to be like, wait, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? I know they didn't do it for show purposes, but sometimes we talk about these characters as if they were real people. And it seems like people do that in the Buffy debates anyway. So that is what I will be doing.
All right.
And I'll be positing some questions that might.
It says we like the show.
I like the show, but I do have things that I know they couldn't do because then you don't have a show or you don't have an episode. But there's stuff that we've talked about that comes up, and I'm wondering why. And we'll get into it. I just wanted to place that up front.
Yeah. All right. I'm not doing monster today. I heard somebody say I sounded weird in the last episode. That's not why. I don't know if they got my voice different. I don't know, man. I went and I bought a coffee this morning and I was like, oh shit, I'm doing the podcast today. And then I didn't want to drink the coffee and a monster and just be wired out of my mind. So
coward.
Yeah, I know. So I just got a little Starbucks vanilla sweet cream cold brew going on here. That's my Starbucks order of choice.
Sweet cream. Okay.
Sweet cream cold brew. It is very low in calories, everybody. Highly recommend.
I am drinking an Earl Grey out of our Buffy mug.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Slytherin, I believe.
One of you lovely listeners sent that to us. All right, let's get in the episode. Opens up with a recap of Joyce dying, Xander and Anya getting engaged, Giles leaving, and then the whole resurrection spell. When I saw the Joyce dying thing, I was like, oh my God, are they going to have Vance's prediction where Buffy has a conversation with Joyce?
Yeah, I don't think that's
happening this episode.
I don't think it's happening. I don't think it's happening anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that white room with the fake glowing lights.
Yep, with the glow. You know exactly what it's going to be. The weird, like, Vaseline smeared all over the camera lens.
Yeah. What is this? I don't know if it's heaven, but it's someplace. Yeah. These recaps are getting long, though.
Right, dude? This recap was so long. It was crazy.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. But anyway, so we open the episode with Buffy walking around in her basement. And she's looking, she's skulking around, and then she sees Mr. Leaks, the leaky pipe that's been driving her crazy. And she takes a wrench, and I don't know how she perfectly, because she has to step onto a stool to reach it, but the stool is already there. So I don't know what her, I can't find this leaky pipe.
Well, this is the way I figured it was. She came because the staircase leads right to the leaky pipe. You can't miss it coming down the staircase. So I figured when we picked up in this scene, she had gone to get the wrench, which was in the back, in the toolbox back there. So she had already known where it was. And then she was like, I need to get a wrench. That's the
Ooh,
only
okay.
way I can like justify it. But she doesn't have to walk up onto it all scary like, but it's just like one of those classic fake outs like, oh no, she's in a dark place. There's a monster. And I'm like, we know it's not.
Yeah.
Just because you've seen this, we talked about it before on the Angel podcast.
On Angel a bunch. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and it's fine. They do it all the time. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But you're just waiting for the reveal.
Yeah. The joke reveal.
Yeah.
Oh, this isn't what you think it is.
I gotta say, our prediction not great. Even though yours was closest.
Not great at all.
Even though yours was closest, that guy looks like a fish monster.
Yeah. I will give myself 0% on that.
Yeah. And I said Giles was coming back, but I don't even really want credit for that. We knew he was going to come back. They said he was coming back.
Yeah. But so Buffy steps up onto her stool. She's going to fix this leaky pipe. She's got a wrench, and Dawn comes down to the basement. And is like, you sure you want me? You sure you want to do this? You sure you want to handle this? I can call a plumber. And Buffy's like, plumber schmummer. I got this. Buffy puts the wrench up to the pipe and like twists it like twice, maybe, like not even, I don't think. And the pipe bursts, and then water just explodes all over the basement, just spraying everywhere.
What is the pipe layout in that basement? There's water coming from all kinds of directions.
I know. It was like, so zany. And
I think there's water coming from the left, which would be like the brick wall leading to the outside.
Yeah.
It is comical.
It was a funny visual of just Buffy looking annoyed, and there's just water spraying everywhere.
Yeah.
So then we get the intro song. Then we come back, and Willow, Dawn, Tara, and Buffy are talking about how the house is flooded, and it's a big old problem. Everyone's yelling at Dawn to eat breakfast for some reason.
Yeah.
It's the most important meal of the day. You got to eat it 3 times a day.
My favorite line of Dawn's in this scene is that she says, I'll just pick something up on my way.
Mm-hmm.
She's going, what is she getting? Pop-Tarts from like the convenience store? What? Like, I don't, they're not in Bodega, New York.
No. Yeah, she could go to the espresso pump.
Yeah, I guess.
Pick up a croissant. I don't know if it's on the way to school, but
yeah, Main Street's on the way to everywhere.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But Buffy's like staring. She's looking at the sink and she's running water. She's just like staring at the water. She is looking at this water like, I can't believe I'm fucking back here. This sucks.
Yeah.
And Willow notices this and she's like, Buffy, all right? And Buffy's like, oh, yeah. I'm just thinking about how I was in heaven and you guys fucked me, and I'm back here and my house is flooded. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So I was just daydreaming about better times when I was in literal paradise.
Yeah. Yep.
So Xander comes up from the basement. He's got his plumber buddy, and plumber buddy is like,
whoa,
hey.
Before we go, plumber buddy, this is Tito. This is his friend that he referenced.
Oh, you're right. It is.
This is Tito.
Yeah, the one male friend that he has.
That he's trying to get. And Tito is not like over the top Hispanic like we had predicted.
Yeah, he's not. He's just a regular dude.
Yeah. I didn't think he was a plumber.
Dude. I didn't either. I thought it would be like in the same like carpentry.
Well, I guess if they're working on buildings, you cross paths with electricians and plumbers and stuff. But it didn't make it. It seemed like he worked with this guy more than just like, yeah. But hey, he's a plumber.
Yeah. He comes up. He's like, ooh, well, got some bad news for you. That basement is going to need a full cover repipe job. Full copper repipe job.
Yeah.
And they're like,
that's going to cost so much.
I know.
People steal copper piping out of buildings.
I mean, just looking at that first scene with the basement where water spray everywhere, you know that's not going to be a couple bucks.
No.
That is sell the house.
Yeah. It's still flooded at the end.
I know. But they need a full copper repipe job. And Tito is like, look, it's not going to be easy, but it is what it is. He gives her the bill. Buffy looks at it. And she's like, oh, cool. Tito walks away and Willow looks at the bill and she's like, oh, he left his phone number? Oh, God, that's not the phone number. That's the bill.
Yeah. I think it's Dawn that looks at it, but yeah. Right?
Yeah,
Somebody looks at it, and yeah, it's just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Buffy's looking at it like, well, that's not going to be too big of a problem. We can make this work. We can pay that, right? And then Willow's like, we got to have a talk here, Buffy. And then they sit Buffy down and they're like, so guess what, Buffy? You're broke.
I thought they were going to say she was broke because they spent it on like silly stuff.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
I was like, oh man, she might just karate kick their heads off right now.
Yeah, she's like, eyes of newt are very expensive these days. Anya is not as liberal about giving those to me as Giles was.
Yeah.
But yeah, Buffy's looking at all of like this paperwork. She's like, so wait, I'm fucking broke? What happened to my mom? Like, I thought I had got money from my mom when she died. And Willow's like, yeah, but that went to a lot of your mom's hospital bills. We had to pay all those back. And then, just a bunch of other stuff happens. You've been gone for 5 months. Like, none of us have jobs.
Except for Xander. And Anya.
Yeah, and Anya. But they're paying for their own
Anya
shit.
runs a business.
Yeah, man. They're doing good. Xander and Anya.
And I just have to bring up, I was going to bring this up later, but Willow and Tara are living there?
Yeah.
They're just living there.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
I mean, that was established last episode.
I'm just saying rent-free, just living in Buffy's house. Buffy's back. There's no like, hey, you're back now. We're going to get out of your hair. No, we're still sleeping in your dead mom's room.
That is a little creepy.
That's just weird.
Yeah.
And the commentary that I wanted to say is that I love how we just take it as normal here in the U.S. that the mom's medical bills made her broke. Like, it's just like, oh, yeah, she got sick. That's her fault. All right. Now you're destitute. Like, international listeners are just shaking their heads. Like, come on. Like, this should not.
Welcome to the American healthcare system, everybody.
No one even flinches like, wait, that doesn't even make sense. They're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Mom shouldn't have got sick. She should have been better. She shouldn't have got that tumor. That's her fault. All right.
I just don't know how. I mean, there could have been. Whatever. Never mind.
Yeah. I'm sure she doesn't have great insurance from her self-owned gallery.
Exhibit gallery thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're like, so your mom's medical bills took up a lot of that inheritance. So you really didn't get that much money to begin with, if any at all. And then Anya chimes in and she's like, also, we're losing money. We're like hemorrhaging money by just letting this house sit as it is. And I was like, I didn't understand that. Maybe I'm not an adult, but I don't get that.
I know I'm not an adult. And the thing about the real estate stuff is always like, oh no, the housing market crashes. But like, if you can afford to pay your mortgage, you keep the house until it like fluctuates back up. It's like kind of like holding stocks. Like stocks go up and down, but you just hold it until it goes up. You don't like the house. Like the house might not be worth what you paid for it at first. It might be devalued, but you still own the house. It's not like you're losing. Like you're losing money if you sell, but if you don't sell, you're not technically losing money.
I mean, I guess if you take into account all of the plumbing shit that they're now going to have to do, they're losing money a lot. Yeah. But like, just because you own the house, it's not like, what money are you losing? Like, I don't get it.
You lose it on an evaluation. I mean, I'm sure we'll have people in Discord chime in. This is our Discord prediction. We'll have a real estate agent be like, no. Yeah, it's just one thing they wanted to tack on. So, yeah.
So Buffy's great idea to fix this. She's like, I got a great idea. Here, how about we do this? Let's just burn the house down and get the insurance money for that. And everybody looks at her like, are you serious? She's like, no, idiots. I'm kidding. What? But then she's like, don't worry, everybody. I'll take care of it. I'll handle this. I don't exactly know how, but I'll take care of it. And then Anya's like, I've got an idea. And they're like, okay, well, what's your idea? And Anya's like, why don't we start charging people for saving their lives and slaying vampires? And I was like, yo, this is some Angel season 1 shit, all right?
Yeah. And I don't understand it in Angel.
Yeah, I don't understand how Buffy is going to charge it. Like, what is she going to like go out and slay vampires and like go knocking on people's doors? Like, hey, I just killed a vampire. You're safe for the night, so give me $20. Like,
She might as well just go out and just rob the people after she saves them.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Buffy's like, no, I can't charge people to save lives. And Anya's like, Spider-Man does. And Xander looks at her and Dawn's like, no, he doesn't. And then Anya's like, yes, he does. And Xander's like, actually, no, he doesn't. And then Anya gets up in a huff and she's like, how come you never take my side? And storms out. It's just like,
why does she like Anya is doing the bills? She's like running a business. So you're like, okay, Anya knows what she's doing. She's like functional as a
money
person.
savvy.
Yeah, like business savvy. And then she says something like Spider-Man does. And you're just like, what is she watching? What is she reading? How has she been coming to that conclusion?
Spider-Man has a job outside of being Spider-Man.
I've never seen him handed cash.
Yeah.
In any media ever. So I don't even know where that reference is coming from. Like you could say that about like even if she said Batman, and then they could have like went on like, no, Batman's already rich, blah, blah, or like something. The Spider-Man was a weird reference.
It really was. I've never once seen Spider-Man take money for saving people.
Yeah.
I
just don't know where she's getting it from. Yeah.
For the Daily Bugle. And even then, like, it's like J. Jonah Jameson will give him like $5 for a $100 million picture.
Yeah. That's why he's still living with his aunt.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. And I did like that Anya offered a suggestion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, this is like the end of season 5. She's the only one offering up any solutions. The rest of the Scoobies are like looking at their feet. Like, Danger's not like, all right, hey. He's like, I got you kind of a deal on this plumbing thing. But they got nothing else. Willow and Tara just living there rent free, offering up nothing.
Xander should be like, yo, I could get you a job in my manual labor job. You're super strong. You could get the shit done so fast.
God, I think Buffy would just like kill herself if she just like I have to do a construction job.
I got ripped from heaven.
Now I got to work with Xander.
I'm doing manual labor. Digging ditches.
So my thought, I was going to bring this up later.
Every broken window and
I was going to bring this up later, but I'll bring it up now since we're talking about where they should get money. Get money from the Watchers.
Right, dude?
Get money from the Watchers. They're offering... Anya's like, hey, you should get paid to slay. And then she's like, I'm not going to charge people. I'm like, don't worry about charging people. Have the people that grabbed you out of high school and gave you this job to pay you.
Yeah. One of my friends on their laptop has a sticker that says pay Buffy Summers retroactively or something. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Unreal. But anyway, Anya storms off. She leaves the house in a huff. And Xander chases after her. And Xander's like, hey, what the hell's going on? What was that all about? And Anya's like, you never support me. This is bullcrap. You never take my side on fights. And Xander's like, this isn't about that, is it? And Anya's like, you're right. It's not. It's about our engagement. How come we can't tell anybody yet? Why don't we tell people? And Xander's like, I promise we'll tell people soon. And Anya's like, you've been saying that. And every time, like, you haven't told anybody yet. Like, when's the good time? When's it going to happen? And then Xander goes on this whole spiel about why he's nervous. And he's like, he loves Anya so much that he wants every step of the process towards getting married to be perfect. And he doesn't want to screw up telling his friends. He doesn't want to screw up any of the steps because he loves her so much. And then Anya's like, aww. And then they kiss. And then she's like, wait a minute. No, I'm so pissed. This is no, you tricked me. You're just buttering me up. And now you're trying to like quell my anger, but I'm pissed again. And she storms off and Xander's left sitting there like, oh, fuck. It didn't work.
Yeah. My question here was, does Xander want to get married? Is he getting cold
I don't know
feet?
At this point.
I'm not sure why he proposed. Like when he proposed last season, it was weird and out of the blue.
Yeah.
It does seem like he's loves Anya. He's like in it.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand his like reasoning of like, oh, marriage is such a big step. I'm like, what are you worried about? Like, like it's I mean, it's not going to be much different than this besides her wearing a ring and you guys, I don't know. I just, it's weird. I got a weird vibe from this scene.
Me too. I did too. And I was like, what's going on with Xander? Because, I mean, I could understand like if he said something like Buffy is still like getting acclimated. Like I could understand that. But his reasoning of like, I want everything to be perfect. Like,
you live on a hellmouth in Sunnydale, son. Like,
yeah, that ain't ever going to happen.
I do love that they keep trying to live normal lives. Like it's so, like why?
I also want to bring up Xander is 20 or 21.
Mm-hmm.
That's so young to be getting married, dude.
They're in California, Midwest, you know.
Suburban California.
Yeah. It's
Pleasant.
I mean, it is. I do think that's young too. But when you find
so
1,000-year-old vengeance demon, you don't let that go.
There's only one of those come around every couple thousand years, buddy. You gotta lock it down.
And I mean, she works at the Magic Box, and she's friends with Buffy, so she's got what, like 5 years max of living.
Yeah, just announce it and get married already. She's gonna die soon.
Like one of you guys are gonna die soon. Like it's just
It's not like she's got any superpowers.
None of you
be
two
back
do.
out on the market. You'll be getting that sympathy snatch.
Xander's got plot armor, you know?
Yeah. But anyway, so after Anya storms off in a huff and Xander's left sitting there like looking bewildered, we go to Buffy, and Buffy's at the bank and she's going over her speech because she's trying to get a loan. And banker shows up. And he's like, oh, hey, how's it going, Miss Summers? So you're here to get a loan. And Buffy's like, yep, I want to get a loan. I need a loan. Here's a bunch of paperwork. And the banker starts going through their paperwork. And he's like, don't need this. Don't need this. These are your old high school report cards. Definitely don't need that. All right, well, here's the thing, Buffy, about a loan. You got no collateral except for your house, which is losing value. And you also have no income. So I'm not going to give you a fucking loan, dude.
Another commentary moment. Student loans, you have no income, no collateral. They give you tons of money when you apply for student loan. They don't even ask questions.
Yep, they just give you a student. Well, another outside of America thing is we have to pay huge amounts of money for our university, college studies. Huge amounts of money. If you don't get scholarships or something, it's like on the cheap end, $30,000
a year. Not for
not a year. No,
there are colleges that are $30,000 a year. Are you kidding me?
Well, yeah, there are. Those are the private ones. Like a public school, though, you don't need to. It's not
college. Is like college. What are you talking about? Like you'll drop $100,000 for 4 years of college.
At private schools, public universities, I don't think so.
Look up College Park's tuition right now.
I went to College Park. I went there.
When you went there, I'm saying,
ago.
Yeah. All right, look up College Park.
We're looking up College Park's tuition right now. I went to University of Maryland,
and this is an in-state school for Joe, so it's going to be was going to be cheaper. So if you were coming from outer state, it would cost more. That's another U.S. thing.
Yeah, that's another bullshit thing.
Yeah.
All right. In-state tuition for University of Maryland is roughly $11,000 a year.
Okay.
So about like $40,000 for the whole thing. But there are universities, private universities, that are $40,000 a year. That's that. Yeah. So over $100,000.
Oh yeah, easily. And especially and then if you go extended study, law school, med school, all of that stuff.
Yeah. So you got to get student loans and the banks just give you loans. You're fucking 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
You got $100,000 in debt.
Yep.
Also, I will concede that that $11,000 in-state tuition, that doesn't cover boarding, that doesn't cover books, that doesn't cover any of that kind of food if you live on campus. So,
yeah. So, but Buffy can't get it because her house is losing value because Sunnydale houses don't seem to appreciate it all. And the guy seems shocked. The guy doesn't seem to know why. I'm like, have you looked at the newspaper?
Right?
Like missing people. You just had bikers vandalize the city.
Yeah. The entire downtown area. The high school blew up.
Yeah. Wonder why this town's not doing better. Jeez.
And I will say in Discord, we brought up last episode about like, why do people still live in Sunnydale? Why wouldn't you move? People brought up good points about like, yeah, people in Florida, they get their houses wrecked by hurricanes every year and they don't move. And there's crime-ridden areas that people don't move. So,
and there's tornadoes in the tornado towns. And you're like, why are you still here in Tornado Valley?
I mean, our families are from Baltimore. That's like the murder capital of the world for like 25 years running, it seems like.
Yeah. And then we lived in New York.
Yeah.
But not 70s New York.
Yeah. New York now is different.
Yeah. And Baltimore, I mean, if you know what you're doing, you're fine. Every place has crime. So.
Yeah. But just as Buffy's getting denied her loan, a demon attacks the bank. And Buffy goes up to this demon and she just starts quipping like a motherfucker. She's like, hey, what are you doing here, buddy? Withdrawals are over there. Deposits are over there. Loans are over there. I don't see any violent demon line or whatever. I don't remember what the exact line is, but I was just like, dude, what are you doing?
I wrote in my note, quipping is back.
Yeah.
And the demon is just listening to this quip, just standing there, just like getting monologue to.
And dude, the demon's got like a silky button down on. It's like, bro, just be sure.
Dude, he looks like Angel going to a nightclub.
He's dressed like fucking Will Ferrell and Chris Kattan in Night at the Roxbury.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's like not buttoned. He's just just a scaly demon underneath.
And it doesn't look like he could change form, so he had to walk there.
Yeah. And it's daytime.
Yeah.
It's daytime. And there's like a bunch of people in the bank.
Yeah.
And this demon it can't pass at all for a human.
And then we get my favorite thing ever in this scene, which is Buffy getting super uppercutted across the room.
Yeah.
I went back and watched that. Dude. It's like a dummy that they like pull up on a string and then like cut to later and she falls back onto the table. But I mean, took her off her feet. She like...
Welcome back to Sunnydale, Buff. No, you can't have a load. Here's an uppercut.
Yeah.
But Buffy's pissed because she was talking earlier in this scene about she doesn't like her skirt because it's super uncomfortable. But when she goes to try and kick the demon, she can't. She's like, oh, stupid skirt. And that's when she gets uppercut across the room. She like takes the banker's letter opener and just like cuts a huge slit in her skirt so she can kick again. She jumps off the table and just like does this crazy split kick, dude. It was nuts.
You know what I thought was crazy? That she tossed the letter opener instead of using it as a weapon.
Right? Because after she's fighting this demon, robbers are like stealing the bank's cash. It looks like in the background.
Yeah, we just see like people in black shirts stealing cash from from the tellers, I guess. It was all close up.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's what's happening, but it just seemed very like you would see it. Like you would see these people walk in. Like banks aren't big. You know what I mean? Like they have like one entrance usually.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then there's also a security guard there who shoots a gun at the demon.
Did he shoot it at the air? Did he shoot it at him? I don't know. I don't know where that bullet went. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure. Like he was shaking in his boots.
Yeah, he was, dude.
He should be if this is his first time seeing a demon, which everyone at that bank saw.
And if this is his first time seeing a demon,
good on him. Good on him.
Did you just move here?
Did you miss the biker gang?
Yeah, it's going to be hard to get over that biker gang just destroying all of Main Street.
And then business as usual the next day.
Yeah. But he shoots. The reason why I think that he shot at the demon is because when we cut to him, he's got the gun pointed at the demon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But he's there. He's shaking in his boots. He's got the gun pointed. Buffy looks at him like, what the hell are you doing there, buddy? And she like grabs the gun from him. She's like, these things are never helpful. And I was like, bullshit, dude.
I know. I was like, grab the gun and shoot the demon that's running away.
Dude, you should have went to Caritas.
I just don't. Yeah, something happens where like he throws Buffy onto the guard, and then throws another person, then runs away. And I was just like, the guy with the gun stopped the fight.
Yeah.
I know I seem like I'm super pro-gun on this. I think I'm pro-gun Sunnydale.
Yeah. Yeah. Sunnydale definitely needs the Second Amendment.
Yeah, they need like an amendment to that amendment where it's like everyone gets armed.
Yeah. Look, I'm not a gun person. I've touched a gun once in my life and it freaked me out. I hated it. Don't want them around me. But in this scenario, yeah, get some guns, dude. Like if you've got that Second Amendment right in America, use it there.
Yeah. I just didn't love that Buffy said it was like a PSA of like guns are bad. And I was like,
yeah, it was like they should have had a poster in the background too of like smoking is bad too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, guns are tricky to. I don't think. Yeah, I don't care if people have guns for hunting. I don't care if people have like handguns for self-defense. You know, maybe not like super machine guns. I think we should still have IDs just like we do for licenses, like for driving. It shouldn't be harder to rent a car than it is to get a gun. But, you know, that kind of thing. But here, Buffy's talking about this gun. He's a security guard. He's supposed to have a gun. He's a bank security guard.
To that guy and be like, yo, can I borrow that?
Yeah.
I'm a better shot than you. Good Lord.
Yeah. So
but
weird.
Yeah, he's supposed to have a gun. He's a trained security guard.
Yeah.
Who knows if that was even like a gun? Maybe it's some kind of like...
No, it was definitely a gun.
I don't know.
You think he had a starter pistol?
I don't know, maybe.
That'd be so funny. They didn't trust him.
I mean, it's not like mall cops have guns, you know?
Yeah, but he's at a bank that banks get robbed, you know, like that's the whole thing. Like,
fair enough. But in that commotion, the demon escapes. Buffy goes back to the banker that denied her loan, and she's like, hey, you sure you don't want to give me a loan? Because I just fucking saved your life, buddy. The banker's like, doesn't work like that.
I would have a million questions for Buffy. How did you do that? How are you that strong? What was that thing? Why did it happen? Why were you so calm and not freaked out by it?
Yeah. Where'd my letter opener go? That was a gift.
Yeah. Like, I might give her a personal loan out of my own bank account. Like,
yeah,
Jeez.
Absolutely. But anyway, then we go to the magic box and Willow's talking to Buffy and she's like, it's crazy that he still turned you down. You saved his life. That's bullshit. Buffy's in the training room in the back and she's like punching the punchy bag. And Buffy's like, yeah, I'm fucking super pissed about it, dude. And Willow's like, oh, it's awesome that you're pissed, though. I'm glad that you're mad. And Buffy's like, what? Why are you glad that I'm mad? And Willow's like, well, I mean, not to be a dick, but like, since, you know, you've come back from the dead, you haven't been a, you know, really emotional, full range of emotion person. So it's nice to see that you have emotions again. And then Buffy's like, oh, well, I'm not really that mad anymore. Moments pass. And then Willow's like, oh, well, guess what? I fucked Riley. And Buffy's like, what? And she's like, oh, that didn't get you mad? I slept with Angel. And Buffy's like, what are you doing? Willow's like, I don't know. I'm just trying to get you mad again. I like seeing you have emotion. I was like, Willow, what's going on, dude?
Yeah. I'll bring up my Willow prediction later.
Okay.
But yeah, Willow is just a mess right now.
Yeah.
And it was almost like she was going back into like season 3, season 4 Willow of unsureness and stumbling and
that's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah, and
she was doing that I was just thinking about
yeah.
I fucking hate that. I don't know if this ever happens to you, but when I see somebody talking like that, or like their pattern of speech, it makes me short of breath and gets me anxious. And watching Willow talk like that, it makes me short of breath and anxious.
Now, I mean, one of my pet peeves is like coyness, when someone's like beating around the bush and not saying something, and you're just like, oh my God, just spit it out. This is even worse than whatever you think the outcome would be if you just said the thing that you're afraid to say. But in my note, this is what I wrote. Willow should just magically make some money.
Yeah.
I don't understand why bringing someone back from the dead is okay, but making a bunch of counterfeit magic money wouldn't be.
Or hypnotizing people into giving them.
Or go in that guy's brain and say, give her the loan.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's just... Yeah. At this point, you've already crossed the boundaries, man.
Yeah, dude. You're already disturbing the natural order of the world.
Yeah.
Several times.
I do love in that scene with the Scoobies, Anya's not like, well, the magic shop's doing great. We could like probably give you some money.
Yeah. No, Anya's like, no, I'm not giving you a job either. Like nobody.
No. They're like, we brought you back to life, but it's your thing. God.
Yeah.
More
You're welcome.
Just like, we want you to be born, but we're not taking care of you when you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So after that, Willow is like, well, okay, I'm just glad that you got human emotions, you know, it's nice to have you back or whatever. So then we go into the main part of the magic box, like the main store front. And Anya's telling Xander, she's like, can we at least tell Tara and Dawn? Look at them. They're just over there. It'd be cool to tell them. And Xander's like, I'm going to stall for a bit more. I think that this is not a good idea. And
something about like, let's wait for Buffy to get here too. Or I'm just ready for them to tell, because this is, what are we, 4 episodes in?
Yeah.
I'm ready for them to tell. They go like, oh, congratulations. They have like whatever weird engagement party, and then something crazy happens at it.
I just know that it's going to get spilled somehow. Like there's going to be a demon and it like punches Anya across the room and the engagement ring falls out of her pocket. And they're like, what? And then they're like, oh yeah, we got engaged. And they're like, how come you didn't tell us?
It gets punched out, and then like Willow bends over to pick it up, and then Tara comes around the corner and she sees Willow with the ring and she thinks she's proposing. Just turns into a big old mix 'em up. That'd be great. I'd watch that.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's probably what's going to happen. Oh, Willow, I would never. Yes, I will. And Willow's like, oh, no.
I would say that if this was a lesser show. If this was a lesser show, I'd give them that. Yeah. I like the show, Joe.
I like the show, too. I'm just saying it is what it is, you know?
All right.
Calls them like I sees them.
Calls them like he sees them.
Anyway, so Tara and Dawn walk over, and Tara's like, no, you can't do research with us. You're too young. And Dawn's like, I'm not young. I'm 15 whole years old. No, you're not. You're barely a year old. Like somebody should bring that up.
You can kind of make jokes about Dawn not being real now, can't we?
Yeah.
Like it's also kind of cool that she's not real.
Yeah.
Like it's like
you have a friend that's a magical, crazy key thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're like, all right, fine, whatever. You can do some research here. Research for, we're looking for this demon that would rob the bank. Dawn opens a book and the first picture she sees is a demon with his dick out. And she's like, whoa, that's a weird place for a horn. Wowza. Oh, that's not a horn.
I'm like, she's 15, not 10.
Yeah. So then Buffy and
they
Willow
were drawing
come.
naked people in her high school.
Yeah.
In her school. Like they were drawing like straight up figure drawing.
Yeah.
She shouldn't be shocked by that.
So Willow and Buffy come out from the training room, and Buffy's like, "Oh, they got you doing research now?" And Dawn's like, "Yeah, look at his demon dick."
No. What she looked at? She looked at the demon dick, but the thing I wanted to bring up is that she immediately opens the book.
She flips to a random page in the book. It was like, "Is this your guy?" And they're like, "Yeah, it is actually."
It was insane to see how she found it. Like normally they're all looking at books and then someone just picks it up. We see her grab a book, open to a random page, and on that random page is just perfect identical drawing of this demon.
Mm-hmm.
So what is research? Is it just randomly opening books?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like I was like, we don't need Giles anymore. Like she's perfect. She opens a book and she's like, this is it.
Yep. That's all you need. You just need a fake key person to open a book.
And she's getting that based off the description that Buffy had to give her. Like she has not seen this monster demon. So she's just like, oh, this looks exactly like what Buffy described to us off screen. Incredible. Just incredible.
It was incredible. The first page she flipped to was the demon dick.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just like stuck her finger in the middle of the book and just flipped and was like, got it. Like,
when she did that, I thought she was
wild.
going back to look at the demon dick. When she like opened again, I was like, because she closed it and then I see her open another one. I was like, oh, she's going to be like Xander when he's checking out those nude witches or something back in high school. He's checking out a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
But as they're all talking about, oh yeah, that's a demon. Oh yeah, that's a demon. Giles returns and he's at the magic box. And he sees Buffy and he lets go of his suitcase. And then they walk up to each other and they hug. And Giles is so happy that she's back. And Buffy's so happy that he's back. And Giles is like, oh, good to see that you're still remarkably strong, because Buffy has been squeezing him so tight because she's so happy that he's back.
I like that Buffy she knew that Giles had nothing to do with bringing her back. She didn't think like, oh, Giles okayed this and then left. Mm-hmm. She's just like, where's Giles?
If Giles would have okayed it, he would have stuck around.
Yeah.
So then we just have this like really random cut to the demon that robbed the bank just walking around the streets.
Yeah.
And then we cut away from that.
Yep. It's just a nice little interstitial. I did want to say with the Giles hug, it starts to get a little creepy and awkward. Like he goes on, I don't know, it's like it's emotional, but then it's like the face touch I feel like he does. Like later he goes to like touch and he's like, something's wrong with her. Yeah, it's like something's wrong with her. I'm like, I don't know. It's fine. I know they're not playing it for that reason, but it just like lingered just a little longer than I want.
I think the only thing that makes it creepy is that Giles has a pinky ring now.
He's been rocking that pinky ring, man.
I know. And he's also been rocking his earring as well now that he doesn't have the library job. Sheesh.
They don't talk about Dr. Intern Ben or Glory at all.
No.
That's
they
in the
moved
past.
on. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's half a year ago, dude. Got bigger fish to fry. Buffy's back from the dead and there's a demon robbing banks.
Buffy doesn't even ask, so when I die, like, did everything just go back to normal or what? Like, she's just like, nope.
What happened to that dragon that flew out of the sky? I am still like, what the fuck happened to that?
We just have to assume everything magically went back into its... Yeah, I don't know. Again, my questions are going to start coming up.
Okay. So Buffy and Giles go back into the training room to have a little private conversation, and Buffy's like, "So how you been, Giles?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I went back to England. I have an apartment in Bath now. I met with the Watchers Council, met with some friends, potentially made a new friend, which is crazy for a man my age." And I was like, "Yo, weren't you gone for one day?"
How long has it been? It might have been...
Because he left, and then the Scoobies did the spell that night.
Yeah. Man, every time he goes to London, it is the shortest trip in the world. But yeah, he was only gone for like less than not even a week. Like it's definitely like a couple days.
Yeah, a couple days, maybe a week.
Yeah.
But good Lord. And he's just like, Jesus, I mean, I was ready to move on with my life, and now I'm back here in Sunnydale. This is quite bewildering, to say the least. And Buffy's like, yeah, you're telling me, bud.
Now, he mentions that he checked in with the Watchers Council when he went back.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my question is, what did he tell the council if they were supposed to pretend that Buffy was still alive? When he left, their plan was to pretend that Buffy was still alive.
Mm-hmm.
They said, oh, well, we can't let the evil people know that the Slayer's not here. Which seems crazy, because I would think that the Watchers Council would be like, hey, we just got our pagers all went off and we found out there's a new Slayer. Like, I don't know how that happens, but
I think according to the people on Discord, the Slayer bloodline goes through Faith now.
Yeah. Which I think, if that is true, again, if that is true, not sure if it is, the Watchers got to be like, what are we doing now?
Yeah. But yeah, like, I don't know what the Watchers would be doing without a Slayer. And if the bloodline goes through Faith, they should be like, where's Faith? We gotta find her.
And it's just, what did he tell the Watchers? Because they must, because he's pretending. Do the Watchers know that Buffy died? Because I think
would he tell the Watchers that Buffy's back alive too? And would they be like, you're reinstated as her Watcher then? Like,
well, that's what I don't get. Like, is he just going to pretend that she's still alive and that he came back? Like, him going to the Watchers, they'd be like, why are you here?
Yeah.
It's very weird. The whole pretending that Buffy's still alive bit gets more confused by this whole thing.
Yeah, you're right. But after Giles tells her his spiel, he's like, well, how have you been?
I mean, the Watchers would fly back if they found out that Buffy was still alive. If Buffy was brought back to life, they would fly back to yell at, they would call the Witches Council on Willow.
Yeah.
We've been introduced to that. They'd be like, wait, she did what? Well, yeah, we're going to arrest Willow. Like, maybe that happens later this season, but I mean, yeah, every witch should be pissed at her.
Yeah, man. I mean, we'll get into it later in this episode, but yeah, man, Willow is,
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so Giles asked Buffy how she's doing. Buffy's like, well, I'm doing fine, except for I've been having nightmares every single fucking night. And Giles was like, yeah, I can't believe what you probably were going through, when you were in hell for sure. All that torment and torture when you were definitely in hell. Buffy's like, yeah, definitely was in hell, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go out on patrol.
I wasn't sure what she was doing. She was like taping up her wrist like she was going to just practice some more. The punching bag's not doing anything for you.
Yeah.
But Giles can tell. Giles can tell that something's off with her.
Yeah. And I like their relationship. Like, yes. I know that we just like kind of alluded to like, oh, it was a little like weird. There was a lingering hold on the hug.
No, it just lingered for. I think it was the same weirdness like when that last episode when Tara and Xander had a conversation. And we're like, what are we doing? And like, it just looks weird.
But Giles and Buffy's relationship is like great.
Yeah.
They nail like that father figure type of shit going on. But yeah. So Giles walks out. He's out into the magic box. He's a little concerned about what's going on. Anya gives him a hug and she's like, you can't have the store back. You gave it to me. You already signed papers. You can't have it back. And Giles like, I know.
I didn't think he was signing the whole store over to her. I thought he was. Yeah, I guess he was like, I own it, but you run it. Like, you know, most businesses.
Yeah.
Like, I thought she'd like still mail him a couple checks. I didn't think he was like
CEO and she's general manager or something.
Like, yeah, did she pay you for the store? Because I don't think she made enough money working at the store to buy it from you.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I mean, she's in the stocks.
Oh yeah, she did. She did. Yeah, she did get all the stock money. The stonks.
She's holding lines, baby.
Buy, sell, buy.
But
we're not
they're
adults.
like, hey Giles, check out this demon. We think this demon's the one that Buffy was talking about and that's been robbing the banks. And Giles like, oh yeah, that demon, that's a mercenary demon. But I wonder who's paying it. Who's he working for?
I just love how casual Giles is. He looks at the pictures like, yeah, it's a mercenary demon. They work for the highest bidder. He closes it and throws it back on the pile of books on the table. The table that was set on fire last episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, didn't burn that book at all. That book didn't get burnt.
No, I mean, did any of them actually get burnt? Yes, but did Main Street get burned to the ground? Yeah, but did it?
Did any of the books in gingerbread really get burned?
Yeah, that's true.
They were burning all of his books. They were burning the library in that episode.
So, Giles does the whole thing of like, yeah, it's a mercenary demon, but who is paying for this demon's services? That's what we got to get to the bottom of. Then we cut to the bank robbing demon, and he's in a basement, and he is pissed. He's like, I want the head of the Slayer. You promised me the head of the Slayer. Why? And then it cuts to who the bosses of this demon is. Who's the boss? They cut to the demon's bosses.
Bosses is plural, so it'd be R. If you said boss, it is. So it depends on how you want to subject it.
The bosses are the ragtag amazing team of Warren, the robotics genius, Jonathan, the pipsqueak guy from high school. This dude has longevity. And in my notes, I wrote initially, a third guy I don't recognize.
Right? I was like, it's so weird because you're like, I know that one. Who the fuck is that? Like, you can't set that up like that and not, you know?
Like, Warren, we have some recency with. Like, we know Warren. You and I have talked at length about how awesome Warren is.
I did not expect to see Warren again either.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Jonathan has been a mainstay since the high school years. Like, that guy's been forever.
I thought he was done after Superstar also.
This last guy was in one episode? Maybe?
No, he hasn't been in the show.
He hasn't?
No.
Okay. Because I was like, do I recognize this person?
This guy is Andrew, who is the brother of the guy who trained the Hellhounds.
The Hellhounds for the prom.
Yes. So he
explained
all
Warren
of that.
And Jonathan.
It gets him to mix it.
Even Warren and Jonathan were like, yeah, you did that prom thing. He's like, no, idiots, that was my brother.
Yeah, he's like, I did the flying demon monkeys to attack the school play.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, yeah. I remember that. And I was like, wait, do I remember that? Was that an episode that I just forgot about?
No, that is not an episode. And that's another thing that Buffy and the Scoobies had to deal with off screen. It's kind of like the Zeppo episode, you know?
Okay, yeah.
You know, there's a lot
of those kind of missions.
There's so many awful adventures that we haven't seen them do.
That alludes to just like so much more. Like, this world is, oh my God.
I mean, we think about it. Every season we see, 22 episodes? And they usually take place over the course of like a couple days max. Yeah.
I mean, my question is, this universe is so rich with lore and people that did things. Why would they bring in this random Andrew guy? Like, you couldn't get the guy that brought his brother back from the dead to be on this team?
Yeah, I do. You mean as from a casting standpoint of bringing a character?
Like, why would they throw in this random Andrew guy that we've not seen before?
Yeah. I think they probably wanted to bring in the Hellhound guy, but then whatever with the actor and like casting and scheduling probably didn't work out. And maybe that was a last second thing, and they were like, "Fuck it, we got to just bring in this guy." And like they didn't have anyone ready from the thing. But it would have been nice if it was a third person that you could like identify directly. Even if it was the guy that she dated, that weird guy that like dark stuff.
Owen?
Yeah, if it was Owen, if it was anybody if anybody survived that like vampire dream club or whatever that vampire club was.
With Billy Ford.
Yeah, it could have been her boyfriend, Buffy's boyfriend, for a little bit.
Scott Hope.
Yeah. I don't know. It could have been like you're saying, it could have been a third person that we go like, holy shit, that person's back too.
Yeah. I wish it would have been.
Yeah. I don't mind the actor playing Andrew. I think his performance is good and everything's good about it, but it doesn't give you that like recognition.
Yeah.
That brand. This is back when everything didn't have to have IP.
But they go
I know
so
they go so deep.
Lore.
I know.
Like, and they reference things like, why would you bring this random guy on? Like, when you have such deep lore. I just
we have a Discord user that often sends us like the commentary stuff. So if maybe there's some factoids that is why they brought this guy in and they wanted to get this guy. There's
usually Joe Dean, right? Joe Dean?
I believe so.
Shout out Joe Dean for giving us the DVD commentary stuff.
And shout out to the Discord. I mean,
shout out to Discord.
Discord's
Y'all
great.
are great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so these three have teamed up, and they're the bosses of this. They keep making jokes about this guy's name. His name is Fashnik. And Dawn tries to be like cookies. And she tries to do that joke twice. And I was like, that's so bad. Like, it's not even a joke.
Wait, what is the joke? Because I remember them saying, what was it? Cookies?
The demon's name is Mufashnik. Like, apostrophe Fashnik.
Gotcha.
And whenever Dawn reads it, she's telling people like, it's Fashnik, like cookies. And then everyone just kind of looks at her like, what? Rightfully so.
I didn't know what his name was until I went to the episode's IMDb page and I saw like he was listed as M. Fashnik, and I was like, is that what they were saying this whole time? Like,
yeah.
I just kept calling him Monster. For most of my notes, I called him Monster, and I was like, wait, they're all demons. Why am I calling him a monster?
My notes say bank robbing demon all the time.
He looks like he could swim.
He does. He looks reptilian.
Yeah, he looks like he's gonna be.
Looks
like he's gonna be at home in the flooded basement.
Fair enough. True.
Yeah.
But yeah, the team of Warren, Jonathan, and Andrew, they all call themselves supervillains, and they have all the money that they robbed from the bank. And the demon's like, what the fuck? I want the head of the Slayer. That's what I'm here for. You guys promised me that I get the head of the Slayer. And they're like, well, we don't have that. Well, we got all this money. You want any money? And he's like, I don't fucking want money. I want to kill the Slayer. And then they're like, all right, how about this? How about instead of the head of the Slayer, Warren's like, I could make you a demon robo girlfriend. And the demon's like, what? You can do that? And Jonathan is like, I could do a spell that makes everybody think that you're cool. And he's like, that sounds lame. Well, tell me more about this robo girlfriend.
I do like when we see the three of them. They're sitting in piles of money on beanbags. It is just the most classic college, high school fantasy.
Mm-hmm. They got like computers all around them. And
there's like a video game playing behind them. Like it's just like still playing.
It's like Doom.
I was like, what? I was like, is this GoldenEye? I couldn't tell.
It looked like one of those type. It's GoldenEye, Doom, or like Duke Nukem or some shit like that.
And Perfect. It wasn't Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark, I was a big fan of. It's kind of like Bond, But
Yeah.
it's kind of like
they're like,
golden
okay, Fashnik, we'll get a plan together. We're all going to plan to kill the Slayer. And he's like, all right, cool. So then we go over to Buffy's house.
Question
Giles
though.
asleep.
Question though. He wants they promise him the head of the Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also seems like upset that the Slayer showed up to the bank that he was at. Or did he go to the bank to fight her? And
I don't know how this all fits in, because like they stole money, and I was like, you this is on you, demon. Like, you were fighting the Slayer.
Yeah. And what we find out later, it seems like that's the whole plan. It's not like they are supposed to. Like, she's not hard to find.
I know.
I
know.
I just don't.
It's so weird.
Yeah. I thought he was like, I want you guys to get me the head of her. Like, just show up, hand me the head, and I hand you more money. But I don't know.
I didn't know what was going on, because it's like, dude, you were just fighting her.
Yeah. Now you're upset.
Yeah, you ran away when a guy shot a gun.
And Buffy grabbed the gun and tossed it. It's like, don't use this. I got this fight.
Like, why is he pissed at them? Like,
I don't know. I was confused there.
Anyway, so Giles is sleeping over at Buffy's house, and Buffy's like, oh, I got these sheets. So sorry that they're all girly and they're from like when I was 8 years old. And then Giles is like, don't worry about it. And
how much money do you think Giles lost when he sold his place? He's been gone like a... How did he sell his place?
How did he get a new place? In England?
The Watchers
Council. I wanted to know.
The Watchers Council.
Yeah, they are masters of bureaucracy, according to everything we've heard about them. But anyway, Buffy starts telling Giles about her money problems. And Giles is like, hey, you can handle this. Look, if you can come back from hell, where you definitely were, wink, wink, you'll be able to handle this money problem. No problems, dude. Like, this is nothing. I mean, everything is going to be pretty hard for you for a while. And Buffy's just like staring straight ahead, like gritting her teeth, like, oh, you have no idea. You have no idea. Giles like, don't worry about it. Get some sleep. We'll work through the bills in the morning.
Yeah.
And Buffy just turns to him. She's like, I'm so glad that you're back. And Giles is like, I'm glad to be back too. And then he leans forward and he goes to touch Buffy's knee. And Buffy just gets up and walks away. And Giles is kind of like, that was weird.
Yeah. Normally, she lets me pat her before she walks away. This is a moment in my notes where I was like, get the council to pay Buffy's bills.
Yeah.
Like, it's a no-brainer. It's nothing. Yeah. Sunnydale's cheap. They're an international bureaucracy.
Kick Tara Willow out. Giles, live with Buffy. You don't have to pay rent. You got a nice house. Give her some allowance.
No, the Watcher should just pay her. I don't know why she stormed in and she didn't ask for money for herself.
I know. And she was like, pay Giles retroactively. And they're like, that's it? Oh. Yeah, okay, we can do that. Yeah.
You had us bent over a table here. You just really let us go.
You started spanking us with a feather.
Put the broadsword down. Okay, great. You want to tell us about those knights you just fought outside? No? Okay, cool.
No, okay. Yeah. They're not going to matter anyway. So after this, we cut to Jonathan, Warren, and Andrew, and they're like convening, and they're like, I really don't want to kill Buffy. And they're like, yeah, none of us want to kill Buffy. We actually kind of like Buffy. She's saved our lives quite a bit. And they're like, yeah, she saved our asses a bit. Buffy's pretty awesome. Not to mention a total smoke show. She's a hottie. And they're like, yeah, we should not try to kill her. We should try to bang her. They're like, oh, okay. You know what? How about we work on a spell where we hypnotize Buffy and she bangs us? And they're like, oh.
I think the hypnotize thing happens later.
Oh, that's later on. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. This is still when the demon's there.
The demon's there, but it does cut to their vision board.
Yeah.
Which I didn't pause, but we'll probably post it on our Instagram because it's a bunch of hilarious
incredible
stuff. Yeah.
It's just like, get money, take over town, step 3, bang chicks. I think the last step is chicks or something like that.
Yeah, Jonathan's just a horny dude.
Yeah. But Yeah, the demon's still there, and he's like, I don't care about what you're doing. I want the head of the Slayer. And they're like, all right, our mission is to take over Sunnydale. This demon guy, he's really cramping our style. So what are we going to do about him? Warren's like, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. He walks over to the demon and he goes, here, this is the Slayer's name, her house, and her phone number. Go. And he pats him on the back. Demon's like, all right, cool. He leaves. Warren goes back to the group and they're like, wow, how did you do that? You're like a hypnotist or something. Like you're so good at this.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
He talks about like how like weak-minded people or something. He says some nonsense.
Yeah.
And here's in my notes where I wrote, Warren gives Demon Buffy's address. He is a genius, but he's also the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He really is. I mean, this is why they should have just hired him to be part of the group, to be the robotics guy.
No, they should not have hired him to be part of the group.
Why not?
Like, just have him build the robots through threat.
I don't know if that...
Here's my question. Okay, so here's where a couple questions come up. Why don't they just kill this demon? Jonathan apparently is super, like, witch-powered now and knows how to do a bunch of spells.
Mm-hmm.
This other guy knows how to make robots. And the other guy also knows how to conjure up fucking demon monkeys and stuff like his brother.
Yeah.
Why can't they take down this one demon? This one demon is like threatening to kill them all if they don't give them Buffy. But I'm like, why don't you guys just kill the demon?
How did they get into contact with this demon in the first place, too?
I don't know. But I'm thinking they wouldn't get in contact with the demon without a plan for it to go awry.
Yeah.
Right? And then also, why are they robbing banks when they could be selling robots? Right?
Yeah, Warren doesn't need to be involved with these guys.
Dude talks about making robots like he's baking a cake. Like, it's like nothing for him. He's like, what? A perfect oven? I can just do that like in 2 minutes. Just give me a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
there's no
prototype
reason
alone.
For Warren to be involved in these two. Like,
Just-
there's no reason.
Just one VC, and all he needs is one VC and one prototype, and he's like bankrolled for the rest of his life.
Yeah. Dude. Of the three of them, Warren is definitely the genius. Like, Jonathan's just kind of a nerd. I don't even know if he knows any other spells aside from the superstar spell.
Well, he said he could do the thing to make people, oh yeah, like, I guess everyone like you, but I don't think he would, I think he knows more. I think he's been studying some weird witchcraft stuff.
Which goes to our point of like, why aren't the Scoobies studying witchcraft? If Jonathan can learn it.
Why is Anya not just taking it up? I guess the logical reason would be, like any team, you don't want everyone to have all the same powers. So everyone has different strengths, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there could be like you're strongest at witchcraft and I'm strongest at this, but I know a little bit.
Well, they did that with Tara. They made Tara's powers go way down low so that Willow's could go up.
They nerfed the shit out of her. She doesn't know shit anymore, it seems like. She knows how to like make a mosquito appear, basically, like a lightning bug.
She knows enough to be like, Willow, I don't know if you should do that because I've been studying witchcraft more and I could tell you stuff that you don't know, but even though you're more powerful than me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, she's just a mouthpiece for witches.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just didn't understand. Like, sell some robots. And later we'll get back into what Warren did. Like, giving the address behind the back of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of Willow, we now have, which I think is the most important scene of this episode.
Absolutely. And it's coming after a cartoonish scene. Like a scene of these three guys.
Like when
Fitz and
Warren
Buffy. This was like season 1. This was like season 1 and then season like 4.
Yeah. When Warren gives the demon the address, he's like hunched over. He's like, hey, yo, buddy, go get her. Like, it's goofy.
Yeah. It's funny.
And then we get like this intense scene with Willow and Giles where it's like late at night. Willow's in the kitchen. Giles walks in and Willow's like, hey, Giles, isn't it great that Buffy's back? Isn't it cool? And Giles is like, what spell did you perform? And then Willow's like, oh, dude, It was so fucking cool, dude. I did this Urn of Osiris thing. I brought Buffy back. It was kind of crazy. I like choked, I spat out a snake. It was wild. Like I got a little hurt. I got a little cut up, but like you should have seen it, man. And then Giles has just got his back turned to her and he goes, "You are a stupid girl." And Willow's like, "What?" He's like, "You are a stupid, stupid girl." And Willow's like, what are you talking about, dude? I thought that you'd be impressed, like, at how good I've gotten. And then Giles turns around to her and he's like, "Out of all these dipshits, these dumb fuck Scoobies, you were the one that I respected the most and the one that I trusted the most to not do shit like this. And you fucking risked everything." And Willow's like, "I didn't risk anything, man. Like, I knew what I was doing." And Giles is like, "You didn't know what the fuck you were doing, dude. You're messing with powers beyond your control that could have killed everyone. You could have unleashed hell on Earth. You could have gotten all of us killed, all of your friends killed, all of the world killed. Like, you don't know what you're doing." And like the people that do this kind of spells, like, they're not good people. And Willow says something like, "No, you don't understand. Like, I'm super powerful now." And Giles says, "There's other people in the world that can do what you did, but you just wouldn't want to meet them." And Willow says, "Yeah, but they're bad guys. I'm not a bad guy." And I was like, "Ooh." And then Giles is like, "Dude, you got lucky." And Willow's like, "I believe the word that you're looking for, Giles, is congratulations." And I was like, oh my God, this is getting crazy.
Yeah.
And then Giles turns to me and goes, "You were lucky, all right? The magics that you've channeled are more ferocious and primal than you could ever understand. And you'll never understand it because you are a rank amateur." And then Willow goes, "Yeah, you know what, Giles? The powers that I utilized are very powerful, and I did it because I'm very powerful, and you should know that. And because I am very powerful, maybe it's not a good idea to piss me off." And then I was like, yo.
That line is like straight out, like Breaking Bad has a moment like that, or Walter White says that to character. I won't like go into more detail if people haven't seen it, even though it's an old show. But man, it had the same vibe. Right? It has the same, like, that is such a threat. That is such a direct, implicit threat, man.
And after she said that, I started to feel a little worried about Giles, because Giles even turns around and Giles looks a little worried. He's like, fuck.
I think he's seeing like the true darkness that is her. Because when he says rank amateur, he goes rank arrogant amateur.
Oh, yeah.
He throws that in there because she is, oh man, she is so on her high horse.
Yeah. No, this is her. I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn. Like, this is kind of what I was predicting. Like, dude, this is going right to her head with like the power, and like, you all should be thanking me, and you should be like proud of me, and you should be congratulating me and how awesome I am. And it's like, yo, I mean, what Spike said it best, magic always has consequences. We still don't really know. I mean, you fucked it up for Buffy, number one. But I mean, Giles even brings that up because he turns around after Willow says, "Don't piss me off." Giles is like, "Hey, we still don't know where Buffy was or what happened to her. And I don't think that she came back undamaged, okay? She's fucked up a little bit." And I was like, dude, this is such a fucking good scene.
And then Willow like kind of like tapers down from her threatening of Giles and then says, "You should just be happy." That whole happy thing comes back into play, man. And I wrote, underlined, this is just great acting. These are the like number 2 and number 3 best actors in the show behind Sarah Michelle Gellar. And Giles just fucking crushes it in the scene. And like
Yeah.
Willow crushes it. She goes from arrogant to threatening to like on her heels. It's great. Like this is and this is after we just had the most goofy scene ever. And that is the show. That is the show. Like they somehow managed to balance those two things. And it doesn't feel like I'm watching two different shows. But
it fits.
It fits and it shouldn't. I don't like it really shouldn't work.
I mean, we've got Warren and Jonathan and Andrew like hamming it up with a fucking scaly demon to like this very human, emotional, like, you don't know what you're like, you need to watch yourself and then don't piss me off. I was just like, whoo.
Yeah, man.
And then the next scene is also amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So the next scene, we have Buffy staring outside. She's alone. She's on her little back porch thing. And she's just like staring, and Spike shows up. And man, Spike being the only one that knows what's going on, actually, like,
just so good. And I love that Giles isn't like with the Scoobies. I like he doesn't know directly. He doesn't know what Spike knows, but he knows it's not good.
Yeah, he knows something's up.
Yeah.
Which, oh, man.
Yeah, it's always good when you have people that have secrets and people that like somebody knows something that someone else doesn't, because then you have the subtext in every scene. So anytime we could just like have Buffy stare at water running from a faucet and we're like, oh man, she's thinking about her past life. And like, but then if you didn't have that subtext, you'd be like, what's wrong with Buffy? You know? So it's like,
we used to have that to a much lesser extent with Riley being in love with Buffy and telling Xander, and then every scene after that you're watching Riley do that with Buffy and you're like, oh man, my heart's breaking. There's like 9 scenarios of that going on simultaneously right now,
because like any interaction with anybody that's around her is awkward.
And this show is fucking great.
And here's my prediction before we get to this Buffy Spike scene. My prediction was, I was like, okay, Willow has to go fully evil and bad, and they're gonna have to like, something's gonna have to come to a head with her, right? And I was wondering if it was gonna end up being like some type of exorcism like thing to expel an evil spirit from Willow to kind of get her back to like normal levels of witchery. Like she goes fully dark, and it's like, I was wondering if they actually want to make her evil and just be like, she's evil, the person is evil, or are they going to do that thing like, that's not you, Willow, the magic's taking over you, and they have to like get whatever's in or out of her. That's like one prediction of a way that they would keep her in the show but also be able to fight her, you know?
I don't know, man. This is more like a human, like,
I know, it's a human flaw. It's
yeah.
her. I mean, you know what? It actually mirrors. I just thought of this. It actually mirrors. What are we calling the guys? Do they have a name? That little group gang, the Sunnydale villains.
Not yet. They haven't given themselves.
I'm sure they're going to have a name.
They're definitely going to have a name.
Yeah.
They have to have a name. Maybe like the Sunnydale supervillains of Sunnydale, or some bullshit.
So Willow's on their same trajectory. These were like the losers and like the quote unquote losers in high school, right? Who stumbled upon the powers that the Hellmouth and witchcraft and magic gives them, and I guess Warren just knowing how to make robots. And now they're like not using those powers for good necessarily. It's like it's the corruption of power. Everyone's getting corrupted with power, and Willow is no different than they are when you actually think about it. So that's actually kind of cool.
She's definitely getting corrupted with power, but I think it's like, it's a narcissism type of thing too, where it's like, you should be amazed at what I did. Like, this is all good things, but the unintended consequences that she doesn't even know about yet.
Yeah, but she's always been that way too, though. Like, she's been that way even when, like, remember when Buffy did better on a test than her, and Willow like tried to freak out? Like, she has that already innately in her. So now that she's like, it's like this weird competition to be the best at whatever studies she does. You know, and she wants the credit. She wants the teacher to be like, you're good. You're really good at it. Like, Giles, tell me I'm good. Giles, tell me I'm good at it. Yeah. The praise kink. So, so it's interesting. It's very interesting.
So Spike comes up. He can tell Buffy is like working through some shit. She's like, hey. He's like, hey. Scoob's being pieces of shit. Buffy's like, yeah. He's like, you want me to kill some of them? I'll thin out her. I can't get through all of them, but I got a headache. It'll hurt like a motherfucker, but like I'll do that for you. And Buffy starts to chuckle. He's like, knew I could get a smile out of you for threatening your friends.
Yeah, I think Buffy and Spike can kind of overhear Giles and Willow yelling, so they hear the conversation. Yeah.
So Buffy and Spike sit down on the porch, kind of similar to when Joyce had the tumor and Spike showed up with the shotgun.
Yep.
And Buffy starts talking to Spike, and she's like, "Dude, this is so painful to be doing because I am spending all of my time trying to be okay, and everyone can tell that I'm not okay, and it's just worrying everybody else. So I'm exhausted from acting like I'm okay when I'm not, and that's just like making everybody worried about me, and I just fucking can't handle it anymore." And Spike is like, yeah. Well, Buffy's like, I just need to be alone for a little bit. And Spike's like, yeah, I understand that. I like being alone more these days anyway. I don't really like crowds, and let's just be miserable and alone together. And they're sitting there, and Buffy like kind of takes a breath, and she's like, so what do you know about finances? Great scene, man.
Great. Yeah.
Like emotional, but also like, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's because I also am a person that deals with hard times by like making jokes about it, where I could really relate to Buffy.
Most comedy people do.
Yeah. I was just like, oh, that's so relatable. I relate to that. Like, man, shit is fucked, but well, might as well make a joke.
I related to Buffy when she was on the couch and they were like, all the bills, all the stuff. And she was just like, yeah, it's fine. I'll take care of it. I was like, yeah, man, that's like, what else is Buffy going to do? She's just, she's already like, I'm over this whole thing and just like, whatever, I'll deal with it. We'll be fine. She's stressing about it, but it's also like, what is she going to say? Like, she's not going to,
So then we have Dawn coming downstairs in the middle of the night, and she sees Giles, and Giles is awake, and he's like, oh, couldn't sleep. And Dawn's like, no, I couldn't sleep. How about you? And Giles is like, nope. So what are we going to do? And Dawn's like, I'm going to go into the kitchen and take every cereal that I have and mix them all together and put milk and see how it tastes. You ever do that, Giles? And Giles is like, no, but there's no better time than the present. Let's fucking do it.
Well, Giles says he doesn't want to do it because he's old and it messes up his stomach, kind of. That's what he's saying as he walks in the kitchen. Have you done that?
I wasn't really. No, I've done this.
Oh yeah, you're not a mix anything person with food.
No, what are you talking about? I mix things, but cereal.
You're a very simple eater, though.
I am a very simple eater.
Yeah.
No, I'm down to mix stuff, but like cereal, that can get wild. Actually, I did it recently. I'm a liar. I did do it recently.
You so emphatically were denying it. You were so emphatically denying. Oh, no. For cereal? No. Wait, actually.
I did it like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, man.
But I only had 2 cereals. That's the thing. Is that like, it's like 16 different cereals.
Well, which 2? Well, so which 2 did you mix?
So I always basically have Frosted Mini Wheats on. That's my cereal. That's my go-to because it's like pretty decently healthy. But then every once in a while I'll buy like an unhealthy cereal and just like binge it for like a couple days and then be done with it. So I had this cereal that was like orange creamsicle flavored. And I mixed the Mini Wheats and the orange creamsicle. Orange creamsicle cereal, dude. No.
I like orange creamsicle. I like creamsicles in general. Like I love that the sherbet and vanilla cream. But I can't picture that with the Mini Wheats.
It wasn't the best.
Yeah.
Wasn't the best. The orange creamsicle cereal on its own was like phenomenal. It was one of those situations where I only had like half a bowl left of the orange creamsicle cereal. And it's like, I'm not just going to have half a bowl. So I might as well just like mix these two. Wasn't that great, but I did do it. I'm more of the type of guy that mixes sodas Like, you know, when you go to a soda fountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that like crazy.
I have not had a bowl of cereal in a long time. I can't really remember the last time I had a bowl of cereal.
What was your favorite cereal? What's your favorite cereal?
Oh, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the number one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Frosted Flakes. I like Corn Flakes if you put some sugar in them. What else?
Corn Flakes, as we talked about. Was it on Discord?
We talked about it somewhere.
Anti-masturbation thing.
That was on this, I think.
Yeah.
We talked about it on the podcast. Yeah.
My favorite cereal of all time, Trix. Trix. Oh, if it wasn't so terrible for you, oh my God, I fucking love Trix.
Yeah, I've been eating Fruity Pebbles. That has like a interesting texture, but it's okay.
Fruit Loops cut the roof of my mouth. They're pretty good though.
Fruit Loops, Captain Crunch cuts the roof of your mouth. That's pretty solid. Yeah. Apple Jacks I didn't hate.
Apple Jacks are pretty decent. Yeah. Why do you like them? I don't know. I just do.
Yeah.
Golden Grams, dude. There used to be this cereal called S'mores cereal. It was Golden Grams, Cocoa Puffs, and then
with the
marshmallow.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, that was good. That was incredible.
Another insight into America. This is the breakfast that we had. Just sugar and milk. Go to school.
Milk would turn into chocolate milk, and you'd be eating like chocolate milk with s'more. Dude, it was so good. There was also a Nutty Buddy cereal that I had. That was pretty great. Nutty Buddy, like those peanut butter wafer chocolate things.
Now, did you like Cookie Crisp?
Never tried Cookie Crisp.
Okay. Cookie Crisp was interesting.
I feel like it wasn't good.
It wasn't great, but they had great commercials because it was like a burglar always stealing a Cookie Crisp. Yeah. The advertising.
Lucky Charms classic. I think kind of overrated.
Yeah, those marshmallows are weird.
Yeah, they're bad. Yeah, but now that I'm like kind of an adult, Frosted Mini Wheats, that's kind of the go-to. It's still a little bit of sugar, but
you know what's not crazy? Like Raisin Bran doesn't taste as bad as you would expect it to taste, but it's so much sugar. It's like doused in sugar.
Well, like anytime that I've wanted to eat healthier cereals, they're like $6 a box.
Oh, the Kashi brand,
like Special K or some shit.
Yeah,
dude, Magic Spoon is like $10 a box.
Yeah, I don't.
No.
Does it come with milk?
No, it doesn't.
That's what cereals just say. Just milk not included. That's what the commercials should say.
I remember I was dating a girl, I think, that I was like gluten-free. We're just going to talk about cereals for the rest of the episode.
I just realized we came railed to like this.
But it was called like Gorilla Crunch or something. That shit was so expensive too. It was so expensive.
Not expensive
like
now.
Whole Foods. Yeah, that's true. Everything's expensive now.
Yeah.
That's why you should sign up for our Patreon, everybody. It's inflation proof. $5 for Boys Watching Angel and Joe's Fashion Report /corner. $8 for Boys Watching Movies, Boys Watching Angel, and Joe's Fashion Report /corner.
It's less than a box of Magic Spoon cereal.
It is. It is. You could sign up twice before you could get one box of Magic Spoon cereal. And all the content we provide.
Oh my God. Magic Spoon was going to sponsor us until that line. All right.
I'd rather have Mountain Dew anyway. Anyway. So Giles and Dawn are about to eat some cereal. And then the doorknob starts rattling. And then Giles looks over at it and goes, "Is that door locked?" What?
Get out of the way.
Yeah. Dude. Or just walk the one step to the door and lock it if it's not locked.
Yeah.
But rather than the door opening or anything, the demon just like kicks the door off its hinges and like knocks Giles over, beats up Dawn, beats up Giles. Buffy shows up. She comes downstairs. She starts beating up the demon.
Wait, there's a moment where like Giles gets knocked back, and then the demon goes over to Dawn, and he's like, "Oh, you're not the Slayer, but you'll do." And she starts to scream. And this is it in my notes. I wrote down, that's probably something she wasn't supposed to see.
Dude, this is going to be the running joke of the season.
You can't say that line and then have this be the next thing you see.
That's something I wasn't supposed to see. But Buffy comes downstairs and she's all pissed because she's like, oh my God, I'm going to have to replace that door. And then as Buffy and this demon are fighting, there's all this property damage going on. And Buffy's like, oh my God, that's a priceless lamp. That lamp costs so much money. You know what you're doing? He smashes through the coffee table. She's like, oh my God, my coffee table. I'm going to have to replace that. They're just smashing all this stuff. And they go down. Spike shows up eventually. And they're fighting in the dining room. And Buffy's like, Spike, get the demon in the kitchen. Get him out of here. There's too much priceless items in here. Spike takes the demon to the kitchen. They start fighting in the kitchen. And then Spike is like handling him there. And then Buffy's like, no, Spike, get out of the way. Let's take him down to the basement. There's nothing of value in the basement. So Spike opens the door. They go tumbling down the stairs of the basement.
It's a great stunt. That fall down the stairs was a great stunt. Right? 2 people like that way. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. So Buffy and the demon start fighting in the flooded basement. The demon breaks a pipe and he's going to like fight Buffy with it. And Buffy's like, oh, no, you fucking don't. Not the pipes. I'm going to need a full copper repair or whatever. She takes this pipe away from the demon and just like bludgeons this demon to like way past it dying.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I'm gonna need a full copper repair. And after she's done just like mercilessly beating this demon to death, Spike comes down and he goes, do you know this place was flooded? This show.
Great. I was surprised the basement was still flooded. Like no one's trying to pump that out.
Yeah.
And they've been using the water upstairs, which seems like it would be connected to the downstairs pipes.
Yeah, I feel like that wouldn't work.
No. Like you would have to shut the water off in the house.
Yeah.
But Tara and Dawn, everyone's taking long showers upstairs.
The way that Buffy beat this demon up, though, was kind of similar to me, like when she beat up that snake demon and she just like beating it way beyond its death. The one that screamed in Dawn's face.
Yeah. No, she takes out her rage by punching and kicking.
Yeah. She's getting to like Faith levels of stuff. Remember when Faith was just like beating the shit out of one vampire that one episode and Buffy had to fight like 4 of them while Faith was just killing that one?
Yeah, but that was just Faith being weird Faith. Like Buffy was going to die. Like she almost died in that episode.
Yeah. She was and like, I just some help, Faith.
And that was just like, a couple people.
In a minute.
Yeah. When she was hitting him in like no more copper pipes or something, it was giving me like, I never even saw this movie, but there's a movie where it's like no more wire hangers. And the lady is like, it's an old movie. It's a classic scene. You definitely haven't seen it.
Yeah.
No. Or you've seen it and then you'll like remember you watched it 2 weeks ago. But it's like some abusive like mom character and like she doesn't like wire hangers because like wire hangers put like the little weird shoulder nipples on things. Yeah. So and then like she's like no more wire hangers and she's beating this girl up with the wire hangers and I was getting that vibe with the like no more copper pipes or something. I don't know if that was even what they were trying to go for, but that what popped in my head.
Yeah. But it was funny watching Buffy just take all of her rage out. She got ripped from heaven and now she's in a flooded basement and a demon just crashing through all this stuff. And she's just like, fuck, Tanya. Oh my God, this is going to feel so good to just bash your fucking skull with this pipe.
How long do you think it took that bank to be up and running? You think they got everything fixed up and they're back in business later that day?
Yeah, probably. I mean, the fucking repair people in Sunnydale are tip top, dude.
Xander is never going to be out of work.
I know, Xander and Tito.
Yeah.
They should just start their own personal company together.
Tito's going to die just being invited to some place to go check out something in the basement. Like, that's the most dangerous job in the world. Some demon's going to
grab him walking out of Buffy's house.
Yeah.
What's your connection to the Slayer? Oh, I fixed her pipes.
Invitation rules don't matter if you take over the house.
Yeah.
You invite people into the house to eat. Yeah.
So, yeah, after Spike drops that great little button on that scene, like that, dude, man, this show, it really gets me.
It's a good episode.
It's great.
This is like it's a quintessential Buffy episode, but you can't recommend this for someone to start with because they need too much context.
Too much lore going on. Way too much lore.
But yeah.
Speaking of lore, we go back to Warren, Andrew, and Jonathan talking about their lair and how cool their lair is. We got video games. We got all this cool shit. We got beanbag chairs.
We got periscopes and flamethrowers.
Yeah.
They have a periscope looking at the backyard.
They're looking at the mom, like, planting azalea bushes or something.
Why do you need... Like, also, what is that? Just, like, coming up through the, like... whatever. It looks interesting.
Yeah. But then they get to talking and they're like, so what are we going to do if like Buffy finds out that we're behind all of this? Like, what are we going to do? They're like, well, I guess we're going to have to fight her. She comes to fight us and they're like, I really don't want to fight her though. Like, she's really cool and she saved our lives. And then this is where they're like, well, how about we hypnotize her and get her to like bang us? And they're like, oh, that's a good idea. And Jonathan goes over, writes it on their whiteboard of like their evil lair plans. And, I forget what scene it is, but Warren says something about like, no, we made a pact to work and take over Sunnydale together. Remember that time a couple months ago when we all formed the super villain group? And it cuts to them playing like D&D or something, or Risk. I don't know what game. It's Settlers of Catan, some shit like that. And it's just them sitting around the table in silence. And Warren goes, you guys want to team up and take over Sunnydale? And the other two are like, yeah. It just cuts back.
That is up there with the, you want to know why I'm destroying prom? Hey, will you go to prom with me? No.
Yeah.
It's like that simple.
Yep.
Like, they don't need big motives. I love. Like,
it's awesome.
I thought Warren was in college. I can't believe he would come back to this town after what he had just been through, after being threatened by Spike, and then be like, yeah, let's just take over Sunnydale. Sunnydale does something to people's minds, man.
It's gotta. The Hellmouth.
Yeah.
The Hellmouth effect. It's gotta be messing with people.
I want to see a different town's Hellmouth. I really do. I want to see another place.
Yeah, like a Jamaican Hellmouth.
I don't even... It could still be in the U.S. Like, I just want to see a different city to Hellmouth and see what's going on over there.
All right. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've decided they're going to be criminals. They're going to take over Sunnydale.
My question was, are they the new big bad of the season now?
They can't be.
I mean,
do you think they're going to like Mr. Magoo their way into being big bads?
Besides Willow, who else is the big bad of this season? We're 4 episodes in.
I think they'll be the big
Willow.
Bad for 8 more episodes, and then it's going to transition to Willow.
Yeah, I think they're like the initiative early on kind of thing. Like, they won't be like a Glory all the way through, but they're definitely gonna be players. I mean,
yeah, seems like it.
They're gonna team up with Harmony at some point, probably.
Oh,
yeah!
Wow, dude, what a ragtag team! That'd be
I know.
Awesome.
We got a bunch of people that we can bring back.
I forgot
into this,
Harmony,
yeah.
dude. Like she'd fit in really well with them.
She doesn't like Spike anymore. Spike's a part of the Scooby, so you got that level. Yeah, and I just can't believe they were okay with killing. Like, at this point, I thought they were saying like that Warren like told him what he did, like he fessed up, and they were like okay with killing Buffy, and it was something like, well, what if he doesn't kill Buffy? Like, what are we gonna do? And I was like, wait, did they just? Maybe I'm wrong, but like, I think they thought that Buffy they were okay with killing Buffy at this point after saying that they weren't, and I'm like, wait. Jonathan, you saved Buffy during the Superstar episode. That would have, if you killed Buffy, you would have been able to keep your weird fantasy life. And you're not like an evil person. Now he's just like straight up, I don't give a fuck.
I mean, he is an evil person. I mean, didn't we decide that he was like a rapist?
He raped people's minds, but no more than the monks did, I guess.
No, but like he took those Swedish twins or whatever.
Yeah, he had sex with them, but they wanted to have sex with him because they thought he was famous. He wasn't like he made everyone think he was awesome, so he could have sex with anybody. I mean, it's not great. It is, yeah. I mean,
I feel like we had a long discussion about that on Discord when that episode came out.
Oh my god, I think this was a lot of things happening on Discord then.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
This was when Xander slander was getting big.
Yeah,
I think
That
Xander
was
Slander's
creepy.
going to come back around. I think Xander.
Yeah, I think he is now. Yeah,
I think
like this
Xander's
stalling. Something's going
Yeah.
on with Xander, I think.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a secret so far this season, dude.
Oh man. Yeah.
Because Willow, they're still like, Willow, did you know that this was going to happen? Was like, shh.
Tara knew it was going to happen. You didn't want Dawn to bring back Joyce, and you said it was impossible. Then you get your mind sucked, and then your girlfriend saves you. That's what she should be proud of. Saving Tara.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Dude, she went toe to toe with a god.
Yeah. You don't need to prove anymore. You're talking to people telepathically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez. So yeah, after this scene with Warren, Andrew, and Jonathan, we go back to Buffy talking to Anya, and they're looking over the bills. And Buffy brings up this point where she goes, Jesus Christ, man, this house, I trashed this place so many times. How did my mom pay for all this all the time? And I was like, thank you.
I wrote down in the scene where she was like worried about the house. I was like, now Buffy's worried about house damage?
Right, because now she's gonna have to pay for it.
I do love that they reference it though. I did
love that. Because we referenced it like 100,000 times.
I mean, that house was like just wrecked. Like, I mean, bay windows.
Yeah, dude, those windows had to get replaced like at least 15 times.
Yeah.
But so yeah, after that little quip of self-acknowledgement, Giles stumbles in and he goes, I know I'm back in America now because I got knocked unconscious. And I was like, yes,
dude, the hits keep coming.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Yeah.
And then Buffy's sitting there and she goes, man, I just wish that we knew who hired that mercenary demon. And Willow's like, I could do a locator spell. And then Giles just gives her the dirtiest look, like, you better fucking not, dude.
God, dude, that look could kill. I mean, Willow was like a turtle going back into its shell when she saw that face.
I know, she backed off real quick. Like, forget about that. Like, you better not piss me off, Giles. Like, she was just like, okay, I won't do it.
And I'm surprised no one else in the room was like, yeah, locator spell. That's easy. That should be really easy for you to do. Like, no.
Yeah. That seems like one of the easier spells. Like, I would feel like Giles would be like, okay, you can do that one.
I just love that look. After being threatened and knocked out, he's just coming back with sass. Oh,
yeah.
Giles being back is great.
Do you think Willow's going to kill Giles?
Ooh. Okay, so you're saying if we had to go into season 7, who wouldn't be there?
Giles would make the most sense. He's not in the opening credits anymore.
Yeah. I don't think you can have
Willow's
season 7.
Kill Giles.
I don't think you can have season 7 without Willow and Xander.
How's this going to happen, dude? We'll talk about it later.
Yeah,
let's get through this. Let's get through this.
more serial talk.
Yeah. But yeah, so Willow backs off. She's like, all right, fine, I won't do it. And then everyone's looking at this like property damage. They're like, we'll throw this lamp away. Xander's like, we can't get this coffee table back together. It was a piece of shit anyway. And they're like, all right, we'll take this all outside. We'll throw it all away for you, Buffy. And Buffy's like, yeah, thank you. And Giles goes over to talk to Buffy. And Buffy's like, Giles, I don't think I can handle these bills, dude. Like, I've killed demons. I've killed hell gods. I've been to hell and back. I've been to heaven and back now, bud. I can't pay these bills. And Giles is like, don't worry about it. You'll be able to do it. Your mom did it. You're strong like your mom. I'm not going to give you any money, but you'll figure it out.
And then, just get the Watchers to pay your money.
Right. So then the phone rings and Dawn's like, oh boy, I bet it's the debt collectors. They're already on our case. Buffy goes over. She answers the phone and she comes back into the room and she's like, it's Angel. He needs me. He needs to see me. And Giles is like, oh, okay. You want me to pack you a bag, pack you lunch? And Buffy's like, no, I need to leave right now. Giles like, oh, you're going to LA? And she's like, no, we're going to meet somewhere in the middle. They got to meet. And then Buffy just heads out the door and that's the episode.
Yes, that is the episode. So this is a little I mean, I don't know if this is spoilery, but like the way Angel finds out, I always find interesting.
Yeah.
Is Willow telling him?
Yeah, I also don't know if the timeline of these are off or anything. Because
yeah. I mean, I think they're not like 1-to-1. I think there's like days difference and stuff and whatever. Or
no, but you know what I mean. Where it was like
with the other
last
episodes.
season, whenever they had like crossover, it was like the end of Buffy would lead into the beginning of Angel sometimes, or like the end of Angel would lead into the beginning of Buffy. But this seems different based on what we see in Angel this episode.
No,
like
I mean the main point is that Willow showed up at the end of Angel to tell him that Buffy was like, she doesn't even say it, she just shows up and it's like Buffy's dead. And then and in this one it's basically she calls and then tells them that Buffy's not dead. Buffy's alive. And it's so weird that Willow's like, oh man, I guess I gotta make this phone call. Like, why are you making the phone call?
Yeah.
Why is Willow calling Angel to tell him this? Like, isn't this like...
the plan was to bring Buffy back, why even tell Angel?
Yeah. Like, why even tell him that? Well, I mean, yeah, like they're not even like hanging out. They're in a different city. It's like, you don't have to go and tell Angel that she's dead, or like, for some reason they're like, Angel deserves to know this. And I'm like,
yeah,
nah, like, you know who deserves to know this? Maybe her biological deadbeat dad. Which brings me to another question. Where's Buffy and Dawn's dad? They're talking about financial crises, and the dad doesn't come up once as a like, hey, maybe dad could pay for this. Is he a part of the show or not? Is he a part of the world or not? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't show up for granted, it's his ex-wife,
Does he know
but it's his
Joyce
daughter's
is
mom.
dead?
Right? Like, I'm sure if it was like his ex-wife and he didn't have kids with her and he has a whole nother family, maybe he doesn't go to her funeral. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how those situations work. But you do have 2 kids you need to support that live by themselves.
I just gotta say, based on what we've seen of Buffy's dad, which isn't a lot.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like Joyce and him like hated each other.
Yeah, like we've only seen them argue in like a flashback scene. And then
they have like joint, like he used to take Buffy ice skating for her birthday, or like
she used to spend weekends, like some of the weekends that we didn't see in the show was her going to Los Angeles to hang out with her dad.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden he's like not even going to show up when it has been at this point probably 6 months at least.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't know that Buffy died.
Yeah.
But he has to know that Joyce is dead, right?
You'd think.
It's just so crazy that like they're talking about finances and they don't even mention
that's
the
not
dad.
an option.
Not an option. Not an option.
I don't know.
It's just, I don't know, man. It's wild.
Yeah. He's the big bad of this season.
I really thought we were going to get him an episode last season after Joyce died.
Yeah, it would have been nice. But to show that he's a human. Like, good Lord.
What do they hate dads. Like, this carries over into the Marvel cinematic universe too, but that's like already had a backlore. But like, it's all daddy issues in Marvel.
Yeah. I mean, Xander has his daddy issues.
He has his daddy issues, which we never really see.
Yeah, we never. That's just like a nightmare that he has, where his dad's like beating up and like, you're a loser. Yeah. Does Willow have any?
Willow has
Tara definitely has them.
Yeah, Tara definitely has family issues.
Angel had them.
I think Oz had a good family situation. Oz had a good family situation.
Yeah, he had a cousin that was a werewolf, but there was no big deal.
I love the casual nature of like, oh yeah, he's a werewolf. You didn't tell me. He bit my finger. Great.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I don't know how it's possible.
Yeah, I don't know either, but that's kind of a wrap for Flooded. You got anything else to say about Flooded, Vance?
I do not, but I did want to plug Discord. The book club is going on Discord right now.
Oh, it is? Yeah, I think I saw like updates about that.
Yeah, so, and I think listeners, that the Discord book club is talking about doing that audio book, The Slayers, the new follow-up.
The new Buffy audiobook?
The new Buffy audiobook that's coming out. I think they're going to do that. Not sure. We actually don't control that at all. That is a self-running thing on the Discord.
Yeah, I don't even look into the book club thing because, as we all know, your boy hates reading. So that's basically a full spoiler. You can talk. For me,
I chimed in there today to say if they do the Slayers, I'll make a spoiler-only chat thing for that,
okay.
so that we don't accidentally stumble across, like, because that's after season 7.
Smart.
Yeah. So if you're looking to get on Discord and you want to talk to some Buffy the Vampire Slayer fans that are doing that, join our Discord and you can hop in that chat and chat about Slayers. If the book club is doing it, not forcing book club to do it, but yeah, if they're going to do it, we'll make a spoiler chat room for them.
Bro, the next episode, and we didn't bring this one up at all. The next episode is titled Life Cereal, but it's not spelled like the breakfast cereal. It's spelled like, cereal, like series.
Okay.
Life Cereal, never had it.
Life is good. It's like it's almost like, is that like the Chex almost? With it's got another layer with like some cinnamon sugar in it. I don't know.
I think I when I was thinking of Life Cereal, I think I mistakenly thought of it as Kix. Remember Kix?
Yeah, Kix were kind of weird.
Still a cereal anymore?
Kix are for kids.
Yeah, that's
I don't know. I do not even
think.
I do not even go down the cereal aisle.
Yo, do you remember Honeycombs? That was a great cereal.
I ate Honeycombs, but they were kind of like styrofoam.
I love
the texture.
Honeycombs,
Yeah.
Dude.
Life cereal's good. Life is good, actually.
Life is good, Vance.
Life cereal's good.
Oh, the cereal.
Yeah.
Life Cereal, though. The name of the next episode. What do you think's going to happen?
All right. So cereal in TV terms usually has like a serialized, meaning like one. It's serialized. Oh, now I'm drawing a blank. Episodic and serialized. Serialized is like you need to watch every episode. Episodic is otherwise. I feel like this is going to be a very meta episode for some reason.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how, but I think there's going to be. I think we're going to be cutting around, and yeah, I don't know exactly how. Yeah,
I don't know.
I can't picture.
I have zero predictions for this. I can't even fathom what's going to happen.
We don't have to do any more predictions ever again after what we nailed last episode.
I know. I think we can give ourselves a week off of predictions.
Yeah.
That was crazy last episode, dude.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's going to be...
No, we had some predictions earlier in the episode. Like, Warren and... Are they going to be the big bad Willow? Are you going to kill Giles?
Yeah. I just don't have any based off this title. I'm all predicted out.
Tough. I bet you they're going to play the game of life because we've seen them play the game of life before. And Anya is like, oh, this money. I think it's going to start to... some crazy stuff from the game of life is going to start taking place in actual life.
All right. And I got my prediction. It's going to be Anya and Xander finally tell that they're engaged.
All right. I like that. That's good. Yeah. That's a wrap for our predictions this time around there, buddy.
I'll just keep predicting that every episode until it happens. And
then we're like, nailed it.
Nailed it.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to our episode on Flooded. Really appreciate it. Join our Discord. Join our Patreon. Patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy. We're talking about Angel. We're doing movies. We're doing Joe's Fashion Report /corner. Follow the Instagram at Boys Watching Buffy. BoysWatchingBuffy@gmail.com. If you want to get a shout out from Sloppy Joe. Apple Podcast rating, 5-star rating and review. Spotify rating, 5 stars. Send it to anything, any way to get into contact with us. We got merch. We got an Amazon wish list. We got a Throne wish list. I don't even know if we're promoting that anymore. Who cares? And yeah, stay tuned next time for when we talk about Life Cereal.
I don't even know if we could kill Buffy. She's got super strength.
And killing people,
This is not why we got together in the first place.
Yeah, we teamed up with one clear, super cool mission statement. Remember?
So, you guys want to team up and take over Sunnydale?
Okay.
Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.